Joining me now, someone with a different perspective, Congressman Jeff Van Drew, who's a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Thanks so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, what am I getting wrong here?
Well, I think what we're failing to recognize when we say those words, and I appreciate your viewpoint, but number one, Alvin Bragg ran for office pretty much saying he was going to put Donald Trump in jail. Where's the objectivity there? So I say with this whole case, and a lot what's going on in the Department of Justice, whether it was Russian collusion way back, whether it was the FBI and all that they've done, and they've all come before our Judiciary Committee, follow the money, follow the politics, and the lesson that's being taught. So if you follow the money and you look at the actual donations that Alvin Bragg received when he ran for prosecutor in the city of New York, came from very left-wing organizations, came from people that very much wanted to go after Donald Trump, very obvious. And then if you follow the politics, he ran on that, as I've said previously.
Yeah.
And who runs as prosecutor and says that they're going to go after somebody? He was declaring them basically guilty before they even came to court.
So let's agree on Alvin Bragg. While he didn't specifically say he was going to prosecute him, he did brag about the fact that he had taken on Trump many times, et cetera. Totally agree that that is not an appropriate way to run a campaign. But I want to talk about the DOJ, right? Because you mentioned the FBI, for example. This is Chris Wray, the Republican FBI director appointed by Donald Trump, responding to these allegations that somehow the FBI is biased against Republicans. Let's listen.
And the idea that I, as a Republican appointee and a lifelong Republican, am biased in the way that you are describing makes absolutely no sense.
I mean, he's kind of right, no?
No. So let's look at the Steele dossier. For those that remember, the Steele dossier was the paperwork that was put together that proved that there was Russian collusion, and everybody at that time, including the FBI.
But that's before Chris Wray.
That there was. No, this was all part of the Department of Justice. And it was actually Democratic operatives working with the Department of Justice and the FBI. And the person who exposed all of this came forward when we had an independent counsel look at it all and actually showed that, no, this didn't happen. There was no Russian collusion with President Trump. They used a person by the name of Igor Danchenko, who was a fake and a bad international agent to get their information, and it actually had to be all.
But again, let's agree that there were mistakes. I agree that there were certain mistakes made. I want to come back to this idea that the DOJ is somehow weaponized against Republicans, and yet you look at who's being prosecuted. Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat, currently being prosecuted. Henry Cuellar, Democrat, currently being prosecuted. Cori Bush is under investigation. Mayor Eric Adams is under investigation. Marilyn Mosby was just prosecuted, the top Baltimore attorney. By the way, she claims it was politicized against her from the other side. Former Representative T.J. Cox, a Democrat from California, also being prosecuted. He says it was political, again, from the other side. Former Karen Carter-Peterson, the former head of the Louisiana Democratic Party. Andrew Gillum, who ran against Ron DeSantis in Florida. These are all people this DOJ has gone after. Way more Republicans, way more Democrats that this DOJ has gone after than Republicans. So how can you say it's politicized and it's weaponized?
Because it has been. It doesn't matter. Look at the cases. The cases that you brought forward that are the Democratic cases are so obvious. And let's talk about Hunter Biden. So you can say, well, gee, the DOJ went after Hunter Biden. No, they actually put together a special sweetheart plea deal and had to go before a judge in Delaware. And the judge looked at the Department of Justice and said, are you kidding me? It was David Weiss who was the special counsel on that one. We can't do this. She had never seen anything like it before. The DOJ had made an arrangement, an agreement where not only would be exonerated for the current crimes that he committed, which he's obviously guilty, but for anything else they would find in the future. Yeah. Then the world was watching, so they had to stop what they were doing there. They had to go forward, and they had to prosecute.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.